BJ, always good to have your company. Not so good, though, if you're Glenn Maxwell. Out with a broken bone in his forearm after that training mishap, struck by Mitch Owen. What is it with Maxie, BJ, and these freak injuries?
Mate, good to talk to you, Jimmy. Looking forward to the series coming up. Yeah, you're right with Glenn Maxwell. I don't know what it is. He does get a lot of injuries this way. Yeah, that's a big blow for Australia, I reckon, especially heading into the World Cup next year in February. So, look, there's no doubt he could be in doubt for the India T20 series as well for Australia. That could be the issue for him. You know what? I'm amazed this doesn't happen more often, Jimmy, because when you're bowling, and especially if you're a spinner, those big hitters, you know, Tim David, Matt Short, Mitch Owen, Mitch Marsh, they hit that ball back at you so many times. So I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened before. But, yeah, that is a freak injury for Glenn Maxwell. He'll be a big miss for Australia. Hopefully he can get back, maybe, fingers crossed, I'd say later in the year to play some BBL games, and then he can sort of set up for the World Cup.
Look, he's so good, you think he's in no doubt for that World Cup spot, but it's just another injury in what's been a long line now.
Yeah, it has for him, no doubt about it. But I think one of the good things with Glenn Maxwell and the selectors, they'll take him anyway, mate. If they think he's fit and he hasn't played any games, he won't really need a tune-up. He knows the India and Sri Lankan conditions over there where the World Cup is. He's a good enough player. He's got a lot of experience. And the thing with it, Jimmy, is he's more than an all-rounder now. I reckon he's a frontline off-spin bowler. Yes, his batting is amazing, but the key for him, especially when you go to the World Cup over there in India and Sri Lanka, you need two really good spinners, you know, Zampa and himself. So that could put a bit of pressure, let's say, on a Matt Short or even a Travis Head to bowl their off spin. But, you know, they'll be definitely looking for a spinner. Kuhneman might come into the equation for that World Cup, but I think they would take him if they think he's fit enough.
Okay, so what sort of opportunity then does that provide over these three matches for, say, a guy like Matt Short?
Yeah, lots of opportunity, no doubt about that. I think Travis Head, you'll see him bowl as well. I think this series is all about opportunity, Jim, because, yes, there are a lot of injuries. There are a lot of players missing there. Cam Green's not over there playing that as well. We've seen that with Pat Cummins. So this is a series, I think, where you can lock down a spot for the World Cup. I'm pretty happy with the batting. I still think that batting is good enough, especially on these short grounds. New Zealand have got a lot of injuries and a lot of players missing as well. So, as you said, I think, you know, the players coming in for this three T20 series here have got the opportunity. It's going to be a shuffle of the batting order, Jimmy. You know, you're going to see, obviously, Travis Head, Mitch Marsh at the top of the order. You know, it might be a Tim David coming at 3 or a Matt Short or Mitch Owen. Those guys normally bat, you know, 5, 6 and 7. So I think it's an opportunity. Alex Carey could slide up the order. I think we're going to see a lot of different combinations. It's a good opportunity for this Australian lineup. I think the batting's really, really good. If anything, I suppose the bowling is a little bit light. You know, you got Hazelwood up there, Sean Abbott in there as well. You've got Adam Zampa, the leg spinner. That's where I think it's an opportunity for Marcus Stoinis, the all-rounder. He might lock his spot in here in these 3 games. He didn't play against South Africa because, you know, he had that contract over there in England. He's not on a contract with Cricket Australia, so he's a bit of a freelancer. So, you know, this is an opportunity for him because I'm thinking Stoinis, and with the all-rounders we have in Australia, he could be touch and go for the World Cup. So it's an opportunity for him.
Mentioned the conditions and in particular the ground. Bay Oval's not the biggest, is it? How do you think a guy like Travis Head's going to fare today?
It's not quite the size of a bay. I would say more of a pond. But I reckon one thing here is that the Australians will be used to this ground. It's a bit like Cairns and Mackay. It's right on the ocean here on Mount Maunganui. The breeze will come in later on tonight. It'll get down to about 15 or 16 degrees, Jimmy, so it'll be cold later on tonight. The one thing with this ground is, look, Mitch Marsh loves to win the toss and he loves to chase, but over here at Bay Oval, most of the games are won by the team batting first, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. It's pretty short, though, no doubt about it. I think the bigger hitters are going to really dominate. You're going to need a score 200-plus if you want to win these 3 games, no doubt about it. The Australians love to chase. I think they won't worry about it. They love the short grounds. You're hitting down breeze with one end and then you're hitting into the breeze at the other end. So I'm expecting some high-scoring hitting here tonight, Jimmy. I reckon you're going to see more 6s than 4s hit tonight. And you know, you could get to the highest score here. It's like 230, 240. I reckon that could be on the go.
Yeah, right. That will be some watching tonight. Just quickly then, who'd be a bowler in those sort of conditions? But Adam Zampa, that's probably one of the reasons why they love chasing so much. Because they've got a guy like Adam Zampa.
Well, you're spot on. I mean, one thing when we watched those games in Cairns and Mackay, the ball got really wet later in the evening. I don't think that's going to happen here because it's right on the ocean. It seems like a dry breeze. Look, I think Adam Zampa's bowling has been underrated. I think he's been the best white ball bowler in the last 2 or 3 years for Australia. I think he has been the linchpin with our success in white ball cricket, 50-over cricket, T20 cricket, very underrated. He's the key bloke there for Australia. The Australians know that. They can throw him the ball. And he's an attacking bowler. Don't ever think that Adam Zampa's there to keep the runs down. He's there to get wickets. And I think batsmen will try and take him on in these small boundaries. And that's where he brings in his own game where he gets wickets. So he's a key bowler, very experienced. And, you know, they're going to need him for the World Cup next year as well.
Absolutely. BJ, looking forward to it. Have fun with the coverage tonight and have a great week.
Thanks, mate. Looking forward to it.